on that day.
Nancy Pelosi, I don't have, why would I tell you that? Listen, Nancy Pelosi was in charge of security. She turned down 10,000 soldiers. If she didn't turn down the soldiers, you wouldn't have had January 6th.
Did you call military or law enforcement?
What?
Did you call military or law enforcement at the moment the Capitol was under attack?
I'm not going to tell you anything. Let me put it this way. I behaved so well. I did such a good job. Nancy Pelosi turned down 10,000 soldiers. If she didn't do that,
but
and now
Nancy
I understand.
Pelosi doesn't have the authority that
the
you
police
have as commander-in-chief, though.
Listen to me, Kristen. Listen to me. I understand that the police testified against her. The chief very strongly against her. Capitol Police, great people. They testified against her, and they burned all the evidence. Okay, they burned all the evidence. They destroyed all the evidence about Nancy Pelosi.
What do you say to people who wonder why you as commander-in-chief, you have authorities that Nancy Pelosi doesn't have as commander-in-chief?
No, she has authority over the Capitol.
Why didn't you send help in that moment, though?
Frankly, just so you understand, I assumed that she took care of it. She turned down.
So when you realized that the National Guard wasn't coming?
Well, you don't realize anything until quite a while. National Guard not coming. I asked it to be there 3 days in advance, and she turned it down.
She says that request was never officially made.
Oh,
just so you know.
Let me just tell you.
Let me ask you about pardons, Mr. President.
The mayor of D.C. gave us a letter saying that she turns it down. Okay, we have it. Nancy Pelosi also was asked, and she turned it down. The police commissioner
I'm talking about
Capitol
the day
Police,
of,
wait a minute.
Yep.
Capitol Police said that he wanted it, and Nancy Pelosi wouldn't accept it. She's responsible for January 6th.
Of course, as you guys could probably guess, we got to talk about Nancy Pelosi today. And, I love how, in that opening clip, how they tried to make Trump out to be, this liar, right? They always do. And then given some time, he's actually proven right. Y'all remember when he stood on stage debating Joe Biden, and he said that Joe Biden was the big guy and that the laptop was real, and Joe Biden said, no, 50 intelligence agents said it was fake and it was Russian disinformation. He didn't say those exact words, but that's basically what he said. Trump was right. He was not lying. But of course, the media ran with the narrative that he was a liar and that he was making it up and that Joe Biden was right? But given a little bit of time, Trump was proven correct. And obviously now we have the Hunter Biden case that, just concluded recently. And we'll talk about that. But yeah, Trump was right. And he was right again in this instance as well, even though they tried to make him out to be a liar. And we have a little bit more evidence of that. And for me, another piece of evidence was the lack of evidence. And I'll explain. Why were they trying to hide the January 6 tapes? Why were they trying so hard to not release the tapes? I know the official narrative. The official narrative was they didn't want to show the inside of the Capitol for security purposes. But Nancy Pelosi was literally recording a documentary on that day, which is also ironic. What a coinkydink. You happen to have your daughter in the Capitol with you while recording a documentary on J6. Interesting how that one worked. But anyway, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but I don't know. That seems like quite the doozy there. But like I was saying, the lack of evidence or the want to not release as much evidence as possible let me know that Trump was probably right. But we have some more from Nancy Pelosi herself. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient
No,
resources.
there's not a question of how they had been. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
I take responsibility. But whenever she gets on television, that's not what she says. Not even close. She always tries to point the finger at somebody else, and that's Republicans and Donald Trump. Don't believe me? So after that clip leaked, and it went absolutely viral across the internet, she ran to MSDNC literally like that same day to do an interview. And oh my goodness, these folks, man. Just take a listen to what she had to say right after that clip released. Check it out.
Why do you think this is stirred up and a brouhaha on the right and in some corners of the media today?
Well, because of the fact is that the President of the United States, the former president, and his toadies do not want to face the facts. They're trying to do revisionist history on January 6th. But we cannot let us be dragged into their, again, false impression of what happened that day. They know what happened that day. They know how serious it is and was and continues to have an impact on our country. And yet they want to call the people who were in there hostages. Last night I received the Lincoln Award. I was so proud of receiving that. And I said in my remarks, Lincoln built the dome on the Capitol. He insisted that it be built during the Civil War so that it could show the resilience of America. And to see these people coming through the Capitol with their foul deeds and foul actions, waving Confederate flags and Nazi flags under Lincoln's dome was so shameful. And yet this president who incited, this former president who incited this insurrection would not send the National Guard for hours. People were harmed, people were killed, but died one way or another. And what did he do but try to deny that any of it happened? This is a terrible thing. But let us not take away the attention of what we need to do to go forward. We have to unify our country. We have to bring people together in a way that honors the vision of our founders, the sacrifice of our men and women in uniform, as well as the aspirations of our children. I just came back from D-Day in Normandy to see our veterans there it was the 80th anniversary of it. Some of the youngest of them were 97, some over 100. They fought for our freedom, and yet you see how it is being denigrated by the former president and his Republican toadies.
How shameful is that? First off, she said people were pine boxed, but notice her wording. She said in one way or another. The only person that was pine boxed that day, due to the situation that was going on there, was golly, now I'm drawing a blank on her name. A Capitol Police shot someone. It wasn't, any of the J6ers shooting somebody else. As a matter of fact, last time I checked, most of them were unarmed. Just about all of them. Now, I'm sure you might find some clip of some one-off person that maybe had a firearm or something, but this is my whole thing. You're not going to overthrow a country by running into a building. And I've had this debate with people time and time again, like people, Democrats, that say, oh, J6 was such a bad time. It's like, so you mean to tell me a country that has the most powerful military on this planet is going to be overthrown by some folks running into a building with no guns? Make that make sense. That same country you're talking about being overthrown by people running into a building with no guns, that same country has nukes the size of buses. But, some people running into a building, all of a sudden, everything crumbles down to the ground. Like, come on. I mean, that doesn't even, just logically, that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make sense. You got nukes the size of buses. Weapons, the likes of which that some of us have probably never seen before, right? And all of a sudden, we're just overthrown just by some people running into a Capitol building. Come on now, stop it with the nonsense. Like, just stop it. That's not even logical. Even Nancy Pelosi's own daughter said this, and I'm gonna play part of this clip. I need to find it here. I don't want to play the whole thing because I want to get you guys out of here quickly. But
to be in line, marching. If there was an insurrection, question of so what was
here? I'll play this part. Check it out. This is Nancy Pelosi's daughter.
the plan? Is that if there was an insurrection, you're supposed to be in line. Marching, you're in the military,
right.
this.
No, that's
you were supposed to have a plan.
Exactly. It's called Operation Soldier. You sit down overnight with your soldiers. You go over. All right, you're gonna go here. You're gonna go in by this side. At this time, we're gonna take over this. There was none of that.
If it was an insurrection, it's the sorriest insurrection in the 20th, 21st century ever. No guns. No plan. People taking selfies.
A guy smoking pot.
I love it.
Caught on hidden camera footage right there. But, they were going to take over the country. Come on. Stop it with the nonsense. Stop it with that bull crap. And then she also said that Trump incited it. What does peaceful mean? Because, and this is also a point that I always bring up when I'm talking to folks about this topic, and it's this. Whenever you hear mainstream media talk about Trump inciting the insurrection, do they ever play the video of what he said? And they're always like, no. Why would they need to? Some people have said that. Why would they need to? It's like, because that's not what he actually said. He didn't say anything close to something that could be even perceived as inciting insurrection. I did the same thing that they do. I'm not even about to edit that out. An insurrection. Goodness gracious, I can't believe I just did that. Anyway, he didn't say anything close to that. He said peacefully, and patriotically make your voices heard. There's a reason why they never play the video. It's because it goes against the narrative. That is why. But I just wanted to show y'all that. I thought it was pretty interesting and funny how she immediately ran to MSDNC for an interview after the footage was released. Y'all let me know your thoughts, your opinions on all of this in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.